Hello, today we're gonna be learning how to do a wave with pour paint. The first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna prepare a canvas. We're gonna tape the back and add some thumbtacks to leave the canvas. After that, we protected our canvas. We're gonna paint our corners where the blue is gonna be going. You're not gonna paint the whole thing around on blue, just the areas where the blue is gonna be running. You're gonna leave some white for the white areas. I'm gonna be using acrylic white to kind of trace where my white is gonna be, how the wave is gonna be formed. Acrylic and pour paint don't match. Pour paint tends to get stuck on white when it's acrylic paint, and that's the idea. I want to protect that white. I don't want my pour paint to kind of run into my white way too much. So this will help keep that paint there. After I paint it, I'm gonna dry it. I'm using a heat gun. I'm gonna start adding the white first, because obviously we're protecting that area. We wanted to keep it as clean as possible. So we're gonna add the white first to avoid the other paint run into that area where it's gonna be all white, all pretty. We're gonna make sure that you spread the paint. I'm using a spatula, but you can use a blower. Then we're gonna start adding our colors. I'm gonna be using 4 different shades of blue green color. The first one is kind of a very dark blue, a navy blue. Then I'm adding a lighter blue. I'm adding the darker colors kind of like to the edge, and then the lighter color in the inside of the painting to create the effect of the wave. I want to make sure that I don't put too much paint on the top, because I want to make sure it doesn't spray way too much. You can see there I'm adding a shade of blue greenish color. It was mixed, so it's not like that color needs to be mixed, which I love. And then I'm gonna be adding another turquoise color into it, adding more colors. I wanted to make sure I have enough paint to mix them together. And I'm also gonna be adding some sprinkles of white. I'm gonna add more white in the inside to protect, and then I'm gonna be adding some white dots on top to create that look of a real wave. As you know, it creates bubbles. The bubbles look kind of like white, and it's gonna give me that transition. You can see here how I'm sprinkling the aqua color. It's a very pretty green color, aqua. That will give me a really good accent within the paint with the white. After I pour all the painting, covering almost every part of the canvas, I'm gonna use the heat gun here to kind of blow the paint in the direction that I want it, being very careful not to cover all the white and giving the shapes that I want. I'm starting with the borders towards the inside of the paint, kind of creating that wave look, and make it a little bit wider in that area. And I'm gonna keep blowing. I'm gonna take giving that shape. That heat gun is basically my brush. I'm using it to take the paint where I want it to go, and mixing those colors very good, and kind of giving the effects that I want. I am gonna be removing with the heat gun as much paint as I can, because one thing of the pour painting is that if you leave way too much paint, especially in the middle, it's gonna run to the sides and it's gonna change the design of the paint. So I don't want that. So I wanted to stay exactly how I have it right now. So kind of like I'm gonna be removing a lot of the paint and creating the design and leaving very little paint in the canvas as I can. That way I don't have a lot of shifting on the painting, which is a big thing. Especially in the middle, you always wanna make sure that you don't leave a big clumps of painting, because it's gonna spread out and it's gonna change the whole form of your painting. And that's basically what I'm doing now. I'm making sure that there is not a lot of painting where it's gonna shift in a big way and it doesn't look how I intended to look. If you need to, you can add more paint, whatever you needed to add. If you would like to add a drop of color somewhere and kind of mix it a little bit, you can go ahead and do that. That way you can get the effect. You can use your hands, you can use a spatula to create the effect on it and make sure it's look the way that you want it to look. I'm gonna be also blowing with my mouth to make sure the paint doesn't spread way too much exactly in the areas that I'm gonna be blowing. That will help my wave to look more natural as well. After I'm happy with the design, I'm gonna make sure to cover all the sides, that everything has painting cover. Sometimes I pick up a little bit from the mat and use it to refill in the side. And then I'm gonna grab the torch and I'm gonna torch it very carefully to get rid of the bubbles. You wanna make sure you don't burn it. And then there you have it. Your painting right there, looking beautiful. Thank you for watching.